everyone, this is Eliza, Bright Like the Stars, and welcome to a new YouTube video. Today we are doing my Project Pan update for May of 2026. So we're going to go over all of the products I had in the project in April, go over all of my usages and all of the goals I've hit, and then go into what will be in the project for May. I have doubled the projects that I'm doing for May. So over the course of this month, I have added 3 new panning projects. So I am a little hesitant, but also a little bit excited. I'm going to start with one of the new projects because it's going to be continued into May, and that is Project Level Up. I believe that I think her name is Sophie Alexandra created this project. I will have to double check. I'll leave it in the description. But essentially with Project Level Up, you have a level, and whatever level you're on, you use every shade in that palette that many times and try to hit that many pans. So I'm decided I'm going to do level 1 on every palette in my collection, which means no pan left behind the palette and use hit pan in one shade. For this month and continuing into next month, because I haven't completed it yet, we're starting with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. This is the state of the palette currently. I've been able to use the entire top row, the first 5 shades of this row up to this one. I haven't used these 2 yet. The first 4 shades of this row, these 2 shades, these 2 shades, and this full row except for this shade I haven't been able to use. So that is the current state of this palette. I'm currently trying to pan Abyss, which is a black shade here. This is the shade I'm trying to hit pan on. I have a pretty significant dip in it currently, but I don't have any pan, and I've decided that I'm using it as a eyeliner, so that's been working out for me quite nicely. I have it on as an eyeliner today, and I'm also trying to pan separately Central Park, which I've put in my eyebrows. I have it in my eyebrows today because I like to use it in my eyebrows. I've rolled it in for a different project, which I'll get to later, but that's the current status of Project Level Up. And I'm going to stick with this palette until I've completed that goal. Next, I'm going to go over the rest of my progress for my April Project Pan. Note, I am filming this on April 29th, so I will consider things complete even if I haven't completed it in this moment, because I plan on completing some of these goals tomorrow. But first I want to start with an empty, my first empty of this month. This isn't the only empty of this month, I'll warn you. I'll give you a little teaser. But I was able to finish the Glow Recipe Avocado Ceramide Moisture Barrier Cleanser. As you can see, I've cut the top off and I scraped down the sides, and it is fully licked clean empty. So I was really excited to be able to finish this. This has been my focus cleanser since February, I think. So it lasted a good 3 months, which is not bad for a mini size of a cleanser. So that was really nice, and that is out of my collection now. Now I'm going to go into Project Panopoly. Panopoly, I believe, was created by the Impulsive Planner here on YouTube. So I'm just going to go through the products in this project. Starting off, I had the prompt. Also, I do Panopoly, Beautyland, and Deck of Panning as rolling projects. So as soon as a product rolls out, I roll in a new one, unless it is like the end of the month. Then I wait for a monthly update. The first the first project Panopoly project I have is this lava highlighter. Most of the packaging is worn down, so I can't see the shade name anymore. But this was for the prompt least used product, and this is my least used highlighter. I was able to get some good use on it and wear down most of the embossing that was on the top of that where it says lava. I was able to wear all of that down. I can still see the L and the A a little bit, but the middle is completely worn down, and that was with a 13 use goal that I was able to hit. Next was the prompt brown, and this was a roll in from the month before. I had 11 uses left on it, and that was this CoverGirl blush in the shade Rose Quartz. I was able to hit the 11 remaining uses, and as you can see, I have a pretty significant dip in this pan, but it's not enough to be hitting pan on anytime soon, I don't think. But I'm happy to be rolling this out of the project and work on a different blush. Next was for the prompt newest product, and this is continuing into next month. So like I said, this is rolling in for the month of May as well. It's going to have 3 uses left, so it's barely worth tracking at that point, but I'm going to get all of the 17 uses that this had a goal of. That is this LA Colors lip liner. It doesn't have a shade name on it or number. It's just a lip liner that came in a holiday set. It's this beautiful mauve pinky brown shade. It's a very beautiful pink. I have it on as my lip liner today. I've been loving using it, so that is going to stay in the project for now. Next was the prompt has a pan, and for that I rolled in my 16 pan LA Colors eyeshadow palette, and that palette kind of disappeared. I don't know where it went. So I had to roll that out. I had to roll it out after 2 uses because I had lost the palette. Hopefully I left it at my house, and because I went home during this month from college. I'm in college right now. So I went home during this month from college, and so hopefully it's just home. Yeah, but that was a little interesting. Next was the prompt blue, and I decided to set a finish goal on this Hydrating Dewy Gel Cream by First Aid Beauty. As you can see, it is cut open, and I do have one more use left in that little tube that I'm going to get tomorrow, so I am rolling it out of the project, but I'm going to use it tomorrow. So in May, it won't be in the project. I'm going to finish that, and that's going to be our second empty of April. That's really exciting to me. I don't believe I was able to roll in another item for Project Panopoly. I keep going to call it Beautyland, I'm so sorry. And that was this colorful rainbow palette by the brand Pop Feel. I rolled it in with a general use goal for the prompt black because of the black packaging. So I rolled it in to use 15 times, and I've been able to use it 7 of those 15 times. And this is what the palette's looking like. This white pan was from a separate project before this. It's not from this project. I've been using a lot of these pinks and purples. So that's been really nice to have these lovely pink shades in the project. But this is staying, and it is also staying for a different project, which I'll get into in a bit. That's it for Project Panopoly. Now we're actually getting into Beautyland, which is going to be really, really fun and cool. And so Beautyland, we're starting off with a really nice goal. This was rolling in from March for the prompt use a product 25 times. That is this e.l.f. lip oil in the shade Crystal Clear, even though it doesn't look very clear anymore. It was clear when it was brand new. I had 13 uses left to hit that 25 use goal, and I was able to hit that. I think you can kind of see better where it's been settling, which it looks to be about half empty at this point with those 25 uses. So that was really good to get some nice progress on. Next was a random number generator to hit pan on a shade in my collection. For that prompt, I was able to roll in the Estate Rosé Rendezvous palette, and I was able to hit pan in the shade Sparkle, which is this white shimmer. Can you see the pan in there? There you go. Now you can see the pan in there. This shade right here, I was able to hit that pan and complete that goal and roll that product out. Next was a chopping block item, which was the Beach Bum palette by Cara Beauty. And it was just a 4-use goal for the prompt chopping block. And I was able to use it those 4 times. I've been able to also this month repress a bronzer shade into here and a Franken concealer into here. So this palette isn't actually going anywhere quite yet, as you'll hear about in a minute. The next one was literally opening it right back up. Use a product 26 times, and that was for the Franken concealer that's in here. I've been able to use it 12 times so far in the project, so it is going to be rolling into the project for the month of May. Then as I rolled stuff out, I rolled stuff in. I was able to roll in an eyeliner for this project. And that was for the prompt, use an eyeliner, and that was this Beauty Vault black liquid eyeliner pen. So I was able to use that 8 times for the 8-use goal and roll it out of the project. Then I was able to get another use an eyeliner prompt, and that rolled in the Morphe X Lucky Charms orange pencil eyeliner. I like to use this in my waterline, not necessarily actually on my eyes, because it's a very bright orange, but in the waterline it looks almost neutral. It's not in my waterline today, but I do like it there. It rolled in with a 10-use goal, but I've only been able to use it once, so it is rolling into the project again for May. Then finally I got to the prompt, use a base product. I was able to roll in the Wet n Wild Blush Lighter highlighter that I'm trying to pan this year. And it has pretty expansive pan. I only rolled it in for a 3-use goal. I've been able to use it 2 of those times, but I'm hoping to get the 3rd use tomorrow so I can roll it out. This is a lot of panning projects. I'm moving on to deck of panning. For the prompt in it for the long haul, this was rolling over from the month of March. It originally had a 30-use goal, and then I had a 14 use goal on it, and that is this She Glam eyebrow pencil. I was able to actually fully use up the pencil side, which is the side I use mainly. I don't really use the, what's it called? I don't use the felt tip side as often, so I was able to empty this side, so that is a third empty in the month of April, but I do still have this pen side that I use sometimes for drag looks, but I'm not going to keep it in the project just for this side. I'm going to keep it in my collection, but not in any projects. Then I had the, then I had the prompt represent another project, and I represented my project level up. And then I decided to just roll project level up into its own project, which I already showed you. So I decided to not keep that in depth panning and just keep that as its own separate project. Then I had the prompt foundation. For that prompt, I used the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation in the shade Soft Ivory for a 6 use goal, which I did hit and complete and was able to roll out. Then I had the prompt bronzer, and let me get my bronzer that I used. I used this Madeline Mono Viva Diva Blush Duo, and I used the bronzer shade in here 8 times for that 8 use goal. You can see some slight disturbance in those pans, but nothing too crazy. Then I got the prompt favorite category, and I wrote in an eyeshadow palette because eyeshadow is my favorite category. I'll go back to that. And I wrote in the Creative Glam palette by Smoke and Mirrors with a 9 use goal. I was able to use it 5 times, so it is staying in the project with a 4 use goal remaining. This is the state of this palette. As you can see, this palette is very well loved. I have many pans in here, and even an empty, which is really cool. So I'm always excited to get additional use on this palette. Next is the Joker prompt. Joker is a prompt that means, are you joking me? I don't want to pan that. So I rolled in this Kimmy Eye liquid lipstick in the shade 09 with a goal to finish, and I can't see any visual progress quite yet, but I think she has a long life ahead of her, so I'm going to keep focusing on this lipstick in the month of May. Then I got the prompt Hit a Pan, which I rolled in a shade from my Makeup Revolution London Flawless 3 Resurrection palette, and that is this shade right here. This is a beautiful inner corner shade for me, and it has quite a decent dip in it as well. So it was rolled in, no pan yet, so we're going to keep working on her in May. Next, I started my project Pan to the Stars, which I started on the 15th of April, and I've decided I will refresh for the start of May with the rest of my projects. So we're going to go over the goals I hit and the goals I didn't, but I'm going to ignore. I rolled in first this green Morphe X Lucky Charms eyeliner with a 5 use goal. I was able to hit that goal, so that was really nice. Next, I got the prompt use a glitter, And I used this light gold shade in the Glitter Galore palette by Beauty Treats, and I was actually able to hit the pan on this shade, so that was really good. Then I got the prompt, use a product 25 times, and I rolled in this Pop Feel mascara. I obviously wasn't able to hit it 25 times, but I did use it for 11, and I do already use this mascara every day, so I am okay with calling this an incomplete. Next I rolled in the Galactic Skin Tint for the prompt newest in its category. This is my newest foundation. So I rolled it in with an 8 use goal, and I was able to finish and hit that 8 use goal today. Then I had add a prompt to Panopoly, which just means I reroll on my Panopoly board and pick a prompt from there. And I got the Be Your Own Desire setting powder with a 5 use goal for the prompt use a face product. And I used this 5 times. It is almost empty. It is so, I don't know if you can tell, but there's very little that's left in here. So that's really exciting for me. I might keep working on it a little bit if I have space to. You'll see my May project pan is super crazy. I might actually put it in a separate video. So this is just the April finale. And then I'm going to do a separate video for the May project pan intro. So there might be some repeat statements in that video, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And then when I hit the end of my board, I roll in an end product, and that is a free space to put whatever I want. I rolled in this face palette bronzer from the Trolls, per X Trolls World Tour, top of the charts face palette. This is the shade Pretty Popular, and it is a nice, pretty bronzer shade. And I was using it 8 times, and I hit that 8th use. I'm going to hit that 8th use tomorrow, so that's rolling out of this project. I also started a Pan Those Eyeshadows project at the end of last month. However, a few days ago, I started a Pan Those Eyeshadows project a few days ago, but I am going to keep those as their own separate video on this channel because I want to do the roll-ins for that project live with you guys. So that is going to be it for this video today. I'm going to go ahead and film a separate video introducing my May project pan. So it was really, really great being with you here today and making this video for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss another one of my lovely, lovely videos. Also, I have a partnership link with the brand Charmette that I will link in the description. They make customizable jewelry that is really cute and pretty. I ordered one of their bracelets for my mother, and you get to pick all of the charms so you can make a bracelet that is super meaningful and important to you. This video is not sponsored by Charmette, but I did get a partnership link after I made my purchase. So I wanted to share that with you guys because if you use it, you get 10% off of your order, and I get a small commission from you using the link as well. So that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Thank you.